Greetings and welcome back to my channel. Now today's video is going to be a very different one for me. It's not normally something I do. As you all know, true crime and movies are my two passions that I cover on the channel, but today I felt completely obliged to do this video to warn purchasers out there, and like myself, if someone has a very bad experience with a company, you maybe do a bit of research to find out if other people have had a similar experience, and I've had such an experience. Done a little bit of research and found out a certain amount online from other people with very similar experiences, but I thought I would go into a bit of detail on a video about my experience so other people in a similar position can sort of compare their story, find out what I did, and the solution to the issue. So the company in question are called Rheinlands UK. Now, I did something very stupid. I saw something on a Facebook advertisement. It was a pair of boots. They were a pair that I knew my husband would love. He had an upcoming birthday, so I ordered them. I didn't actually order from the Facebook ad itself. I went to the company's official website, made sure they had a website, it looked legit. It had the little padlock in front of the website address. It did. And I ordered the boots. Now, they were £39.99. That was the total I was given on my invoice. When the payment was actually taken, they took £48.99. So obviously they've added on money there, which they said was for tax. Now, this isn't even the complaint. I thought, right, okay, fair enough, bit cheeky, but we'll say nothing. This extra money should have been stated on the invoice, first off. They can't charge you a different amount. I paid via PayPal. You're being joined by Dobby, my dog. Hello, Dobby. I ordered the item, I think it was the 12th of January, just gone this year. So the date comes and goes. I check the tracking, nothing. I checked the tracking again mid-February, and quelle surprise, it states that my package was delivered on the 12th of February. It wasn't. As we all know, we're all in the house at the moment. It's locked down. No one's going anywhere. The location of my living room, I can see my front door from my living room. No one, and I've got 2 dogs. And my dogs hate the postman with a passion. When he comes, the whole street know the postman is here. They go mad. My son's birthday is at the end of February, so obviously due to lockdown, we weren't getting into the shops. So everything was being delivered via post, via online order. So I had a lot of parcels coming at that time. So I was obviously very aware to look out. That day, I had 2 other parcels that arrived with no problem, but this one hadn't. So I contacted the company and I said that it hasn't arrived. Now, I have to say, during the process, every time I contacted the company, they didn't respond. I got one automated response which said, could you please contact us during office hours, because I'd emailed on a Sunday. And any other time I emailed, that didn't come through to me. Regardless, sometimes I was emailing late at night, no out of office reply. So someone typed that initial reply, but every single issue I had and every problem I had, they would not respond. They were uncontactable. But things were starting to feel a little bit fishy. They had charged me extra on my invoice without telling me. They had basically put themselves across as a UK company, Rheinlands UK. Anyway, it said it was delivered. I knew it hadn't been, so I went to the tracking company, which are called 17 Track. Now, if you have an experience with China Post and they use 17 Track, that will be of no help to you, because all this company do is they take the information from other, like the Royal Mail, say if it was in the UK, and they publicise it on their website. They cannot tell you where the parcel went, when it went, who it went to, what it was, because they just collate information from other sites. I did email them and I said, I realise you can't tell me X, Y, and Z, but could you please tell me who the courier company were that delivered within Northern Ireland, so that obviously I could then go to them. And they were able to tell me that Royal Mail had delivered. Now, I don't have issue with Royal Mail with parcels. They're always really good. There have been a couple of instances with money and cards going missing, so I just don't do that anymore. But I know our postman's, really decent. Parcels are never lost. It just doesn't happen. So I thought, oh, if Royal Mail delivered, possibly, if I go onto the Royal Mail track and trace, even though this reference number is a China Post reference, I wonder, will that relate to the UK? And it did. I put in the code. It had all the information from the point where the parcel reached Heathrow and Customs, and it said that it was delivered to Ballymena on the 12th at a certain time, which I know I was sat in my front room doing homeschooling with my son. I was looking at it, there was nothing that said signed for by, there was no photograph accompanying it. Now with COVID you can't sign for parcels, but most of the time the postman will take a photograph of the parcel within your open door. Nothing. And I'm clicking about thinking there's no postcode, there's no name, there's no signature, there's no photograph, there's no proof that I have this item. So I'm clicking about a bit more, and what I found, if you click below all the tracking information, sometimes, not all of the time, but we shall get to that, there are actual GPS coordinates as to exactly where that parcel was delivered. And the GPS coordinates were an address in the town I live in, but because I live on a village in the outskirts of that town, the address was almost 12 miles away from my house. So I thought, fantastic, I have got physical proof that this tracking number delivered a parcel to an address that's 12 miles away. I don't have it. Maybe, I'm thinking, I'm really innocent at this time, I'm thinking possibly the wrong person's got it, there's been a mix-up, but they've sent it back to the Royal Mail. So there's a little chat thing on the Royal Mail page. If this is sounding familiar, guys, follow these steps. On the little chat that I had on the Royal Mail website, I said, there's just options you can choose from. You're not actually talking to someone. And I chose package has not been delivered. They said, can you give me the postcode that it should be delivered to? I put my postcode, and they said, can I check this is the correct postcode? And I typed yes. And they said, no, this is the only time I got this message. I tried it after and I got different messages. The message that came back was, I can confirm that this tracking number does not relate to your postcode. Now, from reading other people's issues, unfortunately, Royal Mail cannot give you the information of where the parcel was delivered to or who it was delivered to. They can't say, well, your name, this person's name was on it, because it's the other person's data protection. What's actually transpired and what has happened, and it took a lot of going around the houses to figure this out, and a lot of reading other people's issues, which is why I wanted to do this video. This company basically take your order, they take your money, they don't send, this is my experience, might I say, and an awful lot of other people's experiences. They don't send your order out. They somehow obtain tracking numbers for parcels going from China to whatever town you live in. They give you this false tracking number that relates to someone else's parcel. So it will have all the journey that looks official, but that parcel isn't your parcel. The Royal Mail can't tell you whose parcel it is because it's that person's data protection. The Royal Mail will not send you an email. They won't send you a letter to confirm. This tracking number doesn't relate to your details, you know, surely. But they won't, because there's so much of this happening. So you have no physical proof that that reference number doesn't relate to you. Fortunately for me, on that one occasion, I had screenshotted the conversation that I had with the Royal Mail that said, this doesn't match your address. I don't think they're meant to tell you that, so I don't know how that came up, because I tried afterwards with other tracking numbers, and the message that came up in future attempts was, we suggest that you contact the sender of this item and have them check the tracking number and address. So that's basically saying this tracking number and this address don't match, but they don't physically say so. So I go to the company, as you can imagine, nothing. Several times. I send them proof that it's gone to the wrong address, no reply. So I paid by PayPal, not an issue, fine, perfect. I put in a dispute with PayPal. Now, this has been sorted out now. This took 5 telephone calls, some of which were over an hour long. PayPal have refunded the money eventually, but only upon threat of ombudsman and doing a social media video, basically going into the full details. Up to that point, they declined my claim 4 times. They raised the wrong claim. They didn't see errors in the claim. What the company did, PayPal went back to them, obviously because I disputed the payment. And PayPal came back, or the company came back to PayPal and said this was delivered and gave a tracking number. The tracking number that they gave to PayPal was not the tracking number that they had given to me. It was a different one. PayPal didn't even check the tracking number. Also, following a conversation, PayPal raised a dispute themselves. They chose the reason. They chose that I was unhappy with the product. They raised the wrong reason. Then they closed the file completely. Case closed. We phoned again. We said the tracking number that you've got doesn't relate to my tracking number. And they listened for like 50 minutes. They opened it again. Got an email the next day, your case has been closed. The sender has provided proof that you have received the item. So they looked at the wrong reference number. They saw that it also had been delivered. Now, unfortunately, this one didn't have GPS tracking, so there was no way for me to prove that this wasn't my address. I tried the little chat thing again. Unfortunately, this time it didn't say, this doesn't relate to your address, but it did say, go back to the sender, check your tracking and your address again. PayPal didn't want to know. PayPal then, after a rollicking, gave me a page where I could attach proof. I had got emails with the company that they didn't reply. I had got the screenshot saying this tracking number doesn't relate to my address. I had got a screenshot showing the GPS coordinates that the parcel went to. I had got, you name it, I had got the proof of all of it. The thing didn't work for me to attach it. They wouldn't give me an email address. They said they don't have one. I don't believe that for a second. So I'm trying to attach all this proof. It won't work. It won't go through. We phoned them again. Every time a person listened for a long time, they seemed to understand. Eventually, after repeating, well, if you're not happy with the product, after they'd been told the issue, my husband took the phone call and was just livid. He was so angry. It's just been a complete bollock to take this through, pardon the language, to take this through PayPal. They have closed the claim without reading it. They have closed the claim without checking the reference number that was provided, which was wrong. Sorry, the tracking number that was wrong. They have raised another claim under the wrong title, which was subsequently closed. They have closed my claim and then admitted that it wasn't looked at. They then when I told them this reference number you've been given is wrong, they tried to insinuate that the second reference number was maybe in fact correct, because obviously I couldn't prove that one had gone to somewhere else. But the first one I could, and I even provided proof of my actual order, you know, the order confirmation from the company with my name and my address and that initial tracking number on it. Oh, well, maybe they put the wrong number on there. PayPal tried everything to whittle out of this, everything they could, and my husband took the phone call yesterday and he was on the phone for over an hour and he went mad. My husband used to work in areas around the law and data protection, and he likes getting his teeth into things like this. And he took the phone call and he just let rip down the phone. And he said to them, it's going to the financial ombudsman. You're doing everything you can to not, I am going to make people aware that your money is not protected by PayPal. This company are actually major fraudsters, this Rheinlands. They do this on loads of people. If you Google them, all these people are having these same issues. I didn't get my item. They said it's been delivered. The post office have said that this number isn't related to my address, but they won't give proof of that. So then PayPal won't accept it because there's no proof. They just keep giving this number. PayPal keeps checking the number. They say it's been delivered. Close case in favour of the seller. Now, in most cases, most people would have probably given up. That's not us. Now, £48.99 to us, is 50 quid's a lot of money. And we can't afford to just chuck 50 quid to some con merchant that's doing this on loads of people. Unfortunately for some others, they have been out a couple of £100, loads of money on this particular company. And this is a scam. And the post office have told us this is a scam that's coming from China at the moment massively. You order, they give a tracking number. The tracking number does not relate to you, but that tracking number will check out if they check it with the Royal Mail. And PayPal, it's extremely difficult. Now, I have raised disputes with PayPal in the past about transactions with eBay and small things, and generally I've had no problems, it's been fine. But with this, they did not want to know. Because this company, Rheinlands, are clever. They know all the loopholes. They know what you can and can't get proof of. They know that that tracking number is genuine and that it has gone to your town. But surely they should have to provide proof of you either signing for that item or that item in your doorway, or proof that that item went to your physical postcode. But unfortunately, it seems for PayPal, you don't need to provide any of that information. So if you're watching this, and I'm sure most people aren't, unless you're a very good friend of mine and listen to me waffle, or if you have had a similar experience, please put below if you've had a similar experience. This company are a rip-off merchant. Do not let them get away with it. However you have paid, dispute it. Go to the Royal Mail, go onto that website, see if you can look down when you put the tracking number in, you may well be able to get the GPS coordinates. if you can get a screenshot of that page and you put all this information to PayPal, they cannot not refund you, but you may have to try 4 or 5 times. You may have to threaten the financial ombudsman, which, unless if you're not aware, every time the financial ombudsman receives a complaint about a particular company, in order for them to investigate that complaint, the company are actually fined. Now, I thought it was £200. My husband says it's 5, so I can't be entirely sure if it's 2 or 5. But the amount that they're fined is obviously an awful lot more than what it was that we wanted refunded. So I have no idea if that money was refunded by PayPal because they didn't want a financial ombudsman investigation into the case, or if the money was got back from the original company. I'm not sure. But we never got to send through any of the proof that I'd obtained because they wouldn't give me an email address because they said they didn't have one. And the online form that you can upload documents to did not work. It just didn't work. So yeah, do not buy anything from this company. If you have and you find yourself in this position, get yourself as much proof as you can possibly get. Thank you for watching. Over and out from Lisa Lives.